Very happy and World Photography Day to everyone. This is a special day to every photographer, and this day has been being celebrated in every year to remember a special invention that happened in 1837. The name of the device is Daguerreotype. That is first available photographic device in this world. This day is celebrated to remember the purpose and social and moral responsibility of all our photographers. So the duty of photographer is not only to enrich or not only to nurture their passion, but also to create a healthy cultural interaction among the world photographers and among the cultures of the world. So we have planned WPI Wildlife Photography Association of India have, has planned to celebrate World Photography Day this year so that we can remember the special purpose of this day. Wildlife Photography Association of India is an organization devoted for photography and the exposure it deserves. Since its origin, it has been organizing so many photography related events like uh, different salons, circuits, photo tour, and other photographic events. So today's webinar is also a part of this. Today's webinar is organized by Wildlife Photography Association of India and powered by Pixel Clash, a photography salon software. We are very pleased to have four renowned speakers who have great contributions in photography. I also welcome all other photographers who are present today. We will have today Dinesh Verma ji, who will speak on macro photography. Thereafter, Lakshmi Narayan ji, who will speak on creative and wildlife photography. Gram Gai ji will speak on wildlife photography, and Sagar Goswami ji will speak on Himalayan birds and animals. Now I hand over the session to our respected uh, General Secretary Chitrangat Kumar of WPI.
नमस्कार। वर्ल्ड लाइफ फोटोग्राफी एसोसिएशन की तरफ से और मेरी तरफ से वर्ल्ड लाइफ फोटोग्राफी डे के उपलक्ष्य में जो शुभकामनाएं देना चाहता हूं सभी के लिए, और उसी को सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए और उसी को यूज करने के लिए हम लोग इकट्ठा हुए हैं, देख रहे हैं। पैंडेमिक पीरियड के कारण अब वेबिनार में हमने इसको तब्दील किया है। अदरवाइज हम लोग इसको फिजिकली मिलके करते थे तो और अच्छा लगता था, लेकिन अभी कम से कम दूरियों में बैठे हुए लोग भी सभी मिल रहे हैं। हर साल फोटोग्राफी के महत्व को जो महत्व है उसको जश्न मनाने के लिए हम लोग इकट्ठा होते हैं, और फोटोग्राफी के लिए हम लोग कोशिश करते हैं कि एक कला की एक विधा है, चाहे वो पेंटिंग हो, आर्ट स्कल्पचर हो, किसी चीज के लिए हो, उसको हम एक फोटोग्राफी का एक विजन जो हम देख रहे हैं कि पुरानी 10 साल 15 साल पुराना एक फोटोग्राफ होते हैं, जब यादों को धरोहर हमने बना के रखा हुआ है तो उसको हम देखें तो यादें ताज़ा होती हैं पुरानी, और उसका जो एक चीज़ें मोमेंट होती हैं उसको हम लोगों को एंजॉय करने के लिए एक मौका मिलता है। और इसी के उपलक्ष्य में अभी ज़्यादा ना बोल के मैं सरबजीत कौर को हैंड ओवर करता हूँ ताकि ये प्रोग्राम को थोड़ा आगे बढ़ाएं और देखें।
Thank you, Chitrangat sir. Good evening to all. Wishing you all a very happy World Photography Day. And I'm Sarabjit Kaur, and I would like to say that I'm proud to be associated with Wildlife Photography Association of India. And thanks to Chitrangat sir for all his guidance in these years. As all of us know that World Photography Day, all about celebrating the photography. We can share our memories across the globe within a second. And photography is an invention that has revolutionized the way we see the world today. Today we can visit places without leaving our places, leaving our homes, and we can share adventures with our friends in another city, as well as we can see our grandchildren grow 1,000 kilometers away from this. And I would also like to say this is just not about an equipment. It is, this mindset needs to be changed. And if you think that you to be an expert photographer, you you need high end equipment and expensive lenses, so it's not true. photography is all about study of light and composition and a good understanding of your own equipment. And the most important thing involved that a learner can create of the learner should create a photography as a career. The photography can be professional as well. You can take it as a profession as well as you. We are aware that there are so many fields, various fields in photography, such as wildlife photography and nature photography, childhood photography, and so on. And from my own experience, that I would say that globally, many of the personalities have enjoyed tremendous success in these fields of photography. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Wildlife Photography Association of India and Chitranga sir to giving me an opportunity to speak on World Photography Day. Again, wishing you all a very happy World Photography Day. Keep clicking. Thank you. Over to Sanjeev, please.
Thank you, Sharupjit ma'am. Uh, for the convenience of the audience and the speakers, we have divided our today's webinar into two sections. Now we will enter into a recorded section just to bypass any kind of technical error or just to save our time. Thereafter, there will be live interaction with all the audience to the speakers. The speakers are also here, and so many. We are very happy to get so many reputed photographers from India and abroad here. We are entering into a recorded session here where we have recorded the speech of all our renowned authors. Thereafter, we will come back to the live interaction with the audience. Thank you. I'm sharing my screen and I'm showing the recorded session. So, introducing one of the prolific Indian photographers, Dinesh Vermaji, who is passionately pursuing photography as a hobby for quite some time. His major area of interest is macro photography. Apart from this, his other areas of interest are landscape and tabletop. Dinesh Vermaji also held workshops on macro photography at Chandigarh. He has put up 4 solo shows, which are Floral Mystic at Government Museum and Art Gallery in Chandigarh in 2008, Luminous Interval at Indian Habitat Center in New Delhi in 2011, Luminous Interval at Panjab Kalabhavan in Chandigarh in 2012, and Soulful Reflections at Indian Habitat Center, New Delhi in 2018. Apart from this, he was part of the 8 members team to visit and shoot in Telangana for a coffee table book titled Telangana India, A Visual Journey, which was published by the Photographic Society of India through an initiative of the Department of Art and Cultural Affairs, Government of Haryana, under the Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat program, to which he made major contributions to his photographs. He is presently holding the post of Vice President of Photographic Society of Chandigarh, one of the oldest photographic groups in Chandigarh. Now I hand over the session to Dinesh Vermaji. He will present his ideas and of different aspects of macro photography. Welcome, Dinesh Vermaji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'll just present my slideshow. One of my pet picture. This I have taken sometime in 2018. I always take most of my macros photographs indoor and rarely outdoor because you can't focus due to wind speed. This shot I had taken, I think, around 8 pictures of this shot, and then I have photostacked all those pictures into one. This is again macro with 3 drops of water, and this is again a shot with 10 photographs, and then you have to photostack all those pictures. I mostly use stand because you can't get the depth, and you normally get movement with the handle shots. So I've mostly used stand, and I use natural light. I rarely use flash, but I have used flash somewhere. I'll show you that also. It's a very close photograph of a birds of a flower. These are very minute birds. This is again a picture made with 7 shots. Now this is the one, the last picture you have seen. Yeah, this picture is on the same flower. Okay, that was the buds, but this is a full-blown flower, and I've taken micro on that flower. This I've taken with the flashlight, fused flashlight. And this is again, they are just 2 or 3 shots, not more than that. But it's a very close macro shot. This is the one of a fly. This I have taken, I think, around 15 or 16 shots on this particular picture, because it's so small and you have to cover each and every part of a fly. But this one is my handheld shot in natural light. It was taken in the garden. This one again, it was taken on using tripod. Pictures were taken and then they were all stacked into one. This is one handheld shot and taken in natural light, natural environment. These are only 3 shots and merged into one. This one again taken in natural light and handheld shot. This one I have taken with my latest equipment, R6, that helped me take it in handheld position, and it has given very good results. This is again a very tiny flower, and this one again is a mixture of 10 shots. Hope I'm sure you people understand stacking. In macro, you have to take a lot of shots and then stack those pictures. So stacking is a norm in macro photography, and you have to do it unless you take it the same plane. This one is again, now this one is a single shot. You see, all the major part of subject are on the same plane. So it was taken in one go, single shot. This one, again, I had taken 5 shots because there is a depth. So wherever there is a depth, you have to take multiple shots to keep everything in focus. Depth of field in macro is very low. So you have to take multiple shots to keep each and every part in focus and then stack them together. The best part of macro photography is that you can do it anywhere, at your home or nearby. You just need a good camera, macro lens, and a tripod. That's all. Now this I have taken on a very slow shutter speed of around 2-3 seconds, during which I moved a flashlight, torchlight around so as to give this effect. So normally it is suggested that macro photography should be done on with high speed. But I do experiment with slow speed shutter speeds. and then mix it up with some light movement or something like that, so as to give a different impact. But then you have to be on, your subject should be very steady, and camera also should be on a tripod. This is another one of flower. In macro, you just start when you are clicking macro shots. You're fond of macro photography. You start looking at things, and you go deeper and closer to a subject. So you find something exceptionally beautiful, which normally we don't see. This is again um, 4 shots I've taken on this. This is again very, I like this picture a lot. I had to merge around 8 photographs. I shot lot many, but then merged only 8 to get this impact. This is just a leaves of a plant that is opening up. It was taken against light and has given beautiful colors. I won't call it a macro shot, but it's a close-up shot. It was taken with at 400 with a 400 lens. Now this is again one of my very favorite and like picture. It's a very close up, and I have merged around 8 pictures in this. It's giving much better impact in black and white. This one again, I won't call it a macro, but it's a close-up picture, close-up shot. But I just wanted to share. It's a close-up shot, not a macro. But again, one of my favorite photographs. This one again, a close-up, but giving a feeling of a macro shot. I do keep experimenting with in macro or close-up. I love nature, and so I'm not able to move around a lot. So whenever I'm not able to go, I pass my time with things around me, and so macro or close-up shots I get. Thank you so much. That's all. I hope you have liked it. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dinesh Verma, sir, for this insightful presentation. We will come back with the question answer session from the audience at the end of our program. Thank you. Our next speaker is Sagar Gosavi, who is a natural history photographer and who is also a network engineer. The fascination to observe and photograph rare species of birds and mammals led Sagar Gosavi sir to mark his presence on a global photography platform with many awards, recognitions, and publications as far as natural history is concerned. Sagar Gosavi sir has mentored and helped towards 4 sub-amateur photographers to develop their skills in nature photography and take it to the next level through photography workshops, photo tours, and expeditions. He is also amongst the elite panel of Canon EOS ambassadors and photo mentors since many years. Canon has recently appointed him as Canon EOS Maestro. Sagar Gosavi sir is a photography tutor in Pearl Academy and a brand ambassador at ViewSonic Global. He has represented Indian wildlife on the global stage like TED Talks. He is a part of the juries in many respected photography competitions in India. He has also won photography awards such as WWF, Sanctuary Asia, etc. Now, I welcome Sagar Gosavi sir and I hand over the session to him. He will present he will present his ideas about different aspects of photography today. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, team, and thank you WPI for an opportunity to talk on wildlife photography on the occasion of World Photography Day. So, thank you everyone, and I'll be starting my presentation today. Let me share my screen. Yeah, so I'll be briefly introducing this concept of wildlife photography and especially wildlife photography in Himalayas. So when we talk about wildlife photography in India, obviously tiger parks, tiger national parks, and tiger as a species itself is a signature of Indian wildlife. And anyone who would like to take up wildlife photography would be fascinated to photograph a wild tiger. But apart from tigers, India is one of the hot biodiversity hotspots, and we have a lot of biodiversity in India apart from tigers. So yes, tigers are important for our ecosystem, and they are part of the ecosystem. They play a very important role in our ecosystem. But there is a lot of other wildlife which exists and which plays equally important role in the ecosystem, but somehow it is neglected by or ignored by the photographers, the wildlife photographers who take up wildlife photography as a hobby or as a passion. So Himalayan landscape, India is blessed with Himalayan mountain ranges, and there is a wildlife right from the the foothills of Himalayas to up to the very high upper slopes of Himalaya. So the best part of Himalayas is the altitude difference. So you get different wildlife at foothills of Himalayas, you get different wildlife at 10,000 feet, 12,000 feet, 13,000 feet, 15,000 feet, and 16,000 feet, and so on. So due to this altitude difference, there is a lot of diversity in the wildlife found in Himalayas. So let's first start with the birds which are found in Himalayas, and I'll be covering here a very very important species. But yes, as I said, some species really are ignored, and this is the best example by far. This is white-bellied heron found in Arunachal Pradesh. That's in northeastern hills of Himalayas, in the foothills of Himalayas. And this is the most ignored species of the bird, I would say, because only 60 species left in the wild in India. And overall, in the world today, the total population of this species altogether over the world is only like a few hundreds, like 200, 300 birds remaining today in the wild. So this is how critical the status of this species, this particular white-billed heron, in India and in the world today. But somehow, since this bird does not attract anyone by its colors or by its features or by its status like a tiger, this species is completely ignored. This is photographed after I was pursuing this bird for almost 6 years, and I was visiting the remotest part of Arunachal Pradesh where this bird is found. And finally, after walking for like five to 6 days continuously, I reached to the spot where I found this bird. And then again, sitting in the hide for days altogether, days and night, finally yielded me these images of this bird, which is white-bellied heron, a very rare species, one of the rarest bird found in India today. This is another image of the same species. This is the display of white-bellied heron, again very rare. So when you study a wildlife, for a wildlife photographer, it is very important to study the wildlife, your subject. So for wildlife photographers, the subject is the wildlife. So it is very important to study your subject and decide what you want to shoot and what you want to uh, uh, convey the message through your images to your viewers. So this is again red-headed trogon. So Himalayan wildlife, they have, especially birds, they have this signature, characteristic, which is they are so colorful in nature. So you can see very striking colors here of the birds. This is the red-headed trogon, also called as the phantom of northeast hills. Again, photographed in the Arunachal part of foothills of Himalayas. This is Himalayan monal. This is photographed in Uttarakhand. This is again a very beautiful and very colorful species of bird found in Himalayas. Spot wing grosbeak, you can see at the altitude, at which altitude this bird is found. You can see the water body which has got frozen, and you can imagine how amazing and colorful birds are found in Himalayas. This is one of the top 10 birds to look at in the Himalayas, and this is one of them, beautiful natach. Very rare and very elusive species of bird found in northeastern hills of India. And this is again taken in Namdapha National Park in Arunachal Pradesh. Another colorful and very vibrant species, one of my favorite, is green magpie. This is also a resident Himalayan species of a bird, which is mainly found in foothills of Himalayas, and it's very beautiful as far as the color of beak and on the color on the feathers goes. Though it is written common there, but trust me, it's very difficult to photograph this bird. It is one of the elusive contender when it comes to Himalayan birds. Cheer pheasant. So there are a lot of pheasant species found in Himalayas, especially a very colorful, very strikingly different species. And this particular species is found in Uttarakhand, and this is the altitude level I'm talking about, where the tree line ends, and after the tree line there is a grass line. So in between that, this bird is found. So again, say at the altitude of 12,000 feet. And this bird is very unique in terms of the habitat they are found. This is photographed in Vinayak in Uttarakhand. A very small place, but it's beautiful place, and very one of the very good places to see a cheer pheasant. Again, one of the specialty, and that specialty is nothing but solitary snipe. As the name suggests, solitary is they prefer loneliness, and it's true in terms of this bird, because when I found this bird, this is photographed in Ladakh at 14,000 feet, and I was so astonished to see a bird, a lone bird, in that vast landscape, and you can see the frozen grass and everything. So it was a stream, it was a glacial stream, a small stream, and in a vast landscape, I found this bird alone sitting there, and it was amazing to see such a wildlife which is so ignored. But these Himalayan birds and Himalayan mammals and the wildlife of Himalayas, it's so spatially adapted to the weather conditions and the terrain of Himalayas. It is amazing to observe and study this wildlife. So this is solitary snipe for you. Yeah, the ruler of the skies of Himalayas, golden eagle, the majestic, one of the biggest eagles found in India, and you can see the wingspan and how majestically it is flying. This is almost at 15,000 feet in the Himalayan ranges, and this is again a very beautiful bird of prey found in Himalayas. So after the brief, go through regarding the bird life found in India, especially in the Himalayas, let's now come to the wild mammals which are found in Himalayas. So shooting birds is one thing, but finding wild mammals in Himalayas is a very tough job. You need to spend a lot of time. You need to, have a special gear as far as photography goes, as far as the weather and terrain goes, and also you need to really have that anticipation for shooting such a wildlife in Himalayas. So let's start with Arunachal Pradesh, the foothills of Himalayas again, and this is eastern hulak gibbon. This is a male species, a very beautiful. This is the only ape species found in India. Yeah, these are not monkeys. These are not ordinary monkeys, but these are ape species. These are hulak gibbons, which are found in Arunachal Pradesh, northeastern hills in India. So this is a male which is completely black, and then the female and a baby. So these hulak gibbons, they prefer very top branches when it comes to very tall trees you find in northeastern hills, in the foothills especially. And there you will find these gibbons always on the top of the tree. So I had to climb one tree to get such a photo of, eye level photo of the hulak gibbon. This is taken in Namdafa National Park in Arunachal Pradesh, the easternmost tip of India. This is another elusive mammal as far as the Himalayan wildlife goes, and this is nothing but the red panda, one of the most adorable creature. As far as I have photographed all the species till now, but this is by far one of the most adorable species I have ever photographed, the red panda. And this particular photograph, there is a lot of story behind it. This is taken at 16 mm, so you can imagine how close the red panda was. I spent the entire day with this female, particular female, and she was sitting right inside in the thickets. And suddenly, after like 2-3 hours, she decided to, she slowly started slowly coming towards me. And she came so close that I had to, keep away my 500 mm and 100 400 mm. So this is shot at almost like a wide angle. This is, I had to shoot this at 16 mm. So you can see the beautiful habitat this red panda they live in. This is a rhododendron forest, a rhododendron canopy. You can see in the image. Again, a red panda. This is a baby, like 4 months old baby of a red panda, and this is again a very rare phenomenon to see in the wild. The young or the babies of the wild animals. So this is a very rare encounter with the red panda baby, and this is also taken in Singalila, in the Indo-China border. This is a male, a full-grown male of red panda. You can suddenly see a different attitude on his face. This is again taken in Indian part of the Singalila National Park. The earlier two images were in the Nepal side of Singalila. So, in fact, here also you can see a habitat in which this species survives. So this is the mother and a baby, again a very rare encounter with one of the most adorable species found in Himalayas. Those are red pandas. So as you go higher and higher, you see you encounter with a wildlife, a very specialized wildlife which is adapted to very difficult conditions, low level of oxygen, high altitude, negative temperatures. So you will find this wildlife to be adapted to those very special conditions. And I really found this wildlife to be very extraordinary when I compared them with any other wild animals I photographed earlier. So this is a red fox, which is found right from like 13,000, 14,000 feet to 16,000 feet. So this is taken in Spiti Valley, the Spiti Valley part of Himalayas. This is again a red fox. Red fox plays a very important role, and if you are a photographer and you are there in the Himalayas to photograph the wildlife, but you also need to look at the habitat they are found in. One thing, the species itself, their features as a photographer, yes, and also some photographs which will tell more story about the species, such as this. So this clearly shows that red fox, they play a very important role in the Himalayan ecosystem. So they are the scavengers. You can see it's a dead cow there which is lying, and red fox is scavenging on it. Again, very rare contender in the Himalayas. These are called as nomads of Himalayan slopes, the Tibetan wolves. So Tibetan wolves, they also always they are found in the pack, and there'll be one alpha male. So this is the alpha male of the pack. So you can see the attitude on his face. He's no more, um, he's not afraid of anyone, and he is giving the look right into the lens. This is taken in Ladakh Himalayas. This is taken almost at 15,000 feet. Again, Tibetan wolf, but again a different landscape. You can see the habitat they are found in. I was talking about, and I was astonished to see a Tibetan wolf at 16,000 feet, as high as 16,000 feet. This image is taken at 16,000 feet above the sea level, and you can see how they are adapted for such a difficult terrain and altitude. Amazing to see Tibetan wolves, and they're very rare to find. You just cannot track a Tibetan wolf in Himalayas because you will find them always moving. They don't have any fixed territory. And finally, the rarest animal found in Himalayas or in the wild, the rarest cat, the most elusive, the grey ghost, the snow leopard. And you can imagine what terrain they adapt to. This is the terrain, and this is at 15,000 feet. This is taken at Ladakh Himalayas, the Ladakh part of the Himalayas. I can see how they can swiftly move through the ridges, and they can jump across the ridges very swiftly due to their body structure. So, as a photographer, when you are there in the Himalayas, you also need to uh, 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 take photographs which will speak more about the species, not only the close-ups and not only habitat shots, but something which will speak about the behavior of the species. So as I said about the close-ups, this is one of the close-ups of the snow leopards. This is taken in Spiti Valley, and you can see the tail of the snow leopard. There is a snow. Everything is white. So you can imagine the negative temperatures there. So while taking this photo, the temperature was almost minus 22 degrees Celsius. That is negative 22. So you can see a thick fur coat on their body, and the bushy tail, the thick tail, short limbs. So photographs speak a lot of things, not only about the species, not only about the habitat, not only about what I said, the behavior of the species, but also they speak a lot about the conservation part. Yeah, and that's the most important aspect of wildlife photography, because it goes hand in hand, especially countries like India, where conservation is still an issue. Conservation still needs a lot of attention. Again, a very rare encounter, a snow leopard with 3 cubs in the wild. This is one of its kind encounter and one of its kind record till now, that a snow leopard is found with 3 cubs in the wild. So you can see how they venture across, on the snowy slope. This is taken at 16,000 feet. And the ultimate action which can happen in the Himalayas, that is a snow leopard chasing its prey. So this is the Himalayan ibex, and the snow leopard is chasing the Himalayan ibex. This happened at 16,000 feet, and you can imagine the temperature when I shot this. This was after the sunset, and when I shot this, the temperature was minus 28 degrees Celsius. So like insanely inhuman conditions there. Low oxygen, only 40% of oxygen at that altitude. So I'll end my small session and brief session today with this snow leopard, one of the most elusive creature of Himalayas, and it represents Indian Himalayan wildlife. So thank you so much, and wish you all a very happy World Photography Day. I wish you a lot of luck and light. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Mr. A.G. Lakshminarayan, who is a prolific Indian photographer. We are very fortunate to have him here. Mr. A.G. Lakshminarayan is the landlord and internationally well-known creative photographer of India. His photographs have been exhibited in India and all over the world. He is known for creative, unique style of photographs. He has secured 75 awards in international exhibitions and close to 1,000 international acceptances. He has been jury member to many international and national salons. He was a resource person to many workshops. He is an eminent architectural photographer. Many publishers have used his photographs for their books. His achievements in photography were featured in many magazines, including The Hindu. He is presently holding distinctions and awards, and he is an FIP, Honorable WPI, GPA, PESG SPC, and Honorable PESG PC. Today, his subject of presentation is creative photography and nature photography. Now I hand over the session to Lakshminarayan sir. Welcome, Lakshminarayan sir.
Title image is a temple called Bhutanatha Temple. 12th century. I am fond of taking the animals. One sample image. This is Bhutanatha Temple of 12th century at Badami, Karnataka. Badami is cave temples, known for cave temples. But this is not a cave temple, it's a carved temple by sandstone. This is very well known and very modelistic temple also. Next. This is my one of my creative photographs. I have taken these rocks in Hampi, a UNESCO heritage site, and this is a hut is somewhere from my place. And these two women are from my home's workers. I have taken all these pictures separately and united on the screen, make it a montage shot and presented it. This is also a foreign parents with a child. They are doing with their cell phones, but they are not bothering about this boy. So he seems like a clueless boy. What to do there? This is also a creative image taken in Hampi, but the background is changed. Foreground is the same. Background is changed. Background was not good at the time, so I have changed the background. This is allowed in salons, like in open section. There was creative sections earlier, but now it has been not that category is not there in salons, recent salons. This is allowed in the open sections. This is a pet lover. This is also a creative shot. I have taken this background is just only a wooden sticks. I have multiple shots of wooden sticks. This ground is somewhere from Haridwar. This is another girl with our worker holding a kitten in her hands. and these and I have just shot some lamp posts somewhere in the city and just montage it here. There are about 25 different layers are here. 25 different layers are. They are very difficult to do it in the square PCs, personal computers. We have to have a good processor, otherwise it will hang. So another thing is to retain the quality of the image, you have to do this in smart object. There is one option in Photoshop, smart object, so that we can't lose the quality of the image there. Every element's quality will be retained when we use the smart object while processing the images. This is another one. This is the one sand desert actually. I have montaged this one, this river, a stream, and this one, this tree, a barren tree. And this chest was there in close to my city, and just shot it and just montaged it here. Just made just a spotlight here. Just created this spotlight by using tools in Photoshops. This is another one. This melody on the floating. This lady is tuning her instrument while standing on a piece of land which is already floating by flood. That is the idea behind this one. Foreign girl was sitting in somewhere in Rishikesh, I think. She was sitting in like this, and I caught hold of that girl in my camera and brought to my home and created this scene and kept her there on that big hanging way. This is a parking place. One morning I went out, saw that I was parking my car outside my house. I saw this drops of rain there on the bonnet of the car. After I saw, I was very much interested in that and get shot from top. Afterwards, I have brought this only one car of toy car, just photograph from the top and changed the color of all toy cars and mounted there and made the shadows there. This is another one. This I have taken the photo of fire, and these people are. I just taken the pose of that man is lifting another man. It is the title is rescue. I searched this type of bridge for 3 months. For this type of bridge for 3 months. Afterwards, I got it in a somewhere in Shimoga, I think. I got that bridge. And immediately I shot it and montaged it here. This is another one. This I outside a garage. It was a junk car kept outside, and I shot a monkey. And the tail of the monkey is hanging here. It is holding the steering, a loosened steering, and it's turning there. It's the morning just given the caption here. Another montage picture, creative one. A dog's boss is absconding, but his shoes are there. Everything is deserted here. Something happened to his boss. So he is waiting for his boss till now. That's the idea behind this one. This is another one. Very old picture of my initial stages. I have done this one picture. Going out for the shrine to worship the god. Just taken somewhat general in landscape. That's all. Another one, just a mistake. It's an evening duty. Evening duty. A woman is lighting the lights there. The temple is there in the middle of the water. In the middle of the water, a bridge is there. After lighting these torches, she is coming back home. It's a mounted picture. I have just created this from this sky, and the reflection is also created here. These are all the models using cardboards. This is a picture, hornbill with belly. A hornbill is rushing with a berry to give to her chicks. A male, especially a male. The female is inside the nest. Black Nephromarca, they are quarreling, saying something to the wife, her husband, while feeding her chicks. She's telling something there, but don't know what exactly because I do not know the language of that. This white-rumped shama, I have used flash here because I knew that it will come here. It will come here to feed her chicks. The nest was inside the palm hole. So it came in and holding a prey wings. So I kept my flash opposite of the bird. This is another one. A Indian palm squirrel is on a banana inflorescence here. The feeding, and especially it feeds both on the insects and the nectar there. This is a close-up photography. A dragonfly in the very early in the morning, yesterday's evening, I saw this. It was evening. I saw this dragonfly. It was resting there. Immediate morning, and went there. It was decorated with these dewdrops at that time. I just shot it. Lovebirds mating. Lovebirds are mating on a flower. Something I didn't see again. Only one shot I got this one. Scientists just walking on these inflorescences of a plant. Tabby birds mating. I have used a flash here on the opposite side of the plant. It was on the hibiscus bud. It was ready to fly. It's just opened its wings. This is common period, very common butterfly. Another close-up shot. This is the last shot. Thank you. I am finishing now. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for watching.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lakshminarayan sir.
Thank you.
We have come to know about different aspects of creative photography and nature photography from his presentation. Our next speaker is Dr. Graham Guy, who is a very famous nature photographer in this world. And when we talk about the photographers who have shown perfection in nature photography, definitely one name strikes in our mind, and he is Graham Guy. Graham Guy likes to share the beauty of nature through his images. Although he is a research scientist by profession and he has published so many scientific research papers, but he has dedicated countless rewarding hours perfecting his photography to capture the right light and right action provided by nature. His proficiency with the lens has been acknowledged by many international awards and invitations to speak at prestigious photographic exhibitions. Over the years, he has been an active participant in numerous photography safaris, shooting wildlife in their natural setting, particularly in Kenya, South Africa, Costa Rica, Ecuador, India, Sri Lanka, USA, Australia, and New Zealand. Today, he will talk about and he will present his session. The title of his presentation is An Analysis of Award-Winning Nature Salon Images. Now I hand over the session to Dr. Graham Guy. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you very much for the invitation. Can we see the my presentation? Sorry, I need to see my presentation. Okay, fine. Thank you very much for the invitation. I want to share with you my passion for wildlife and nature photography, and I can tell you some clues on how to produce the best shots for salon photography. There's different requirements for different things, and these are things I do. This what I call salon photography is what the Indian place at Wpai run. There's wildlife with text, which you need a bit more explanation to. I do nature blogs, which tells you about the nature concern, and I have written the occasional scientific paper. This is a fairly recent one with the otters that are local. Next, please. I like to work on projects, and recently I've worked on 3 species of beetles. Some of my friends like to just shoot many different species, but I like to find a species that I like that's got good activities or behavior, and I like to stay with that and photograph it. These are 2 projects I've done recently with beetles and dusky langurs. Where I live, the dusky langurs live in the forest right next door. And so with the lockdown, I've been able to sort of spend a bit of time with these guys. I can't travel to a lot of places at the moment because we've got a 10 km sort of blockage on where we can go. Next, please. Next. Right. These are just a summary of the 2 projects I've been working on with the langurs. This little slope coming out. These are very interesting characters because they have these orange babies that change colour back to the adult thing after about 4 months. And people wonder why they have this orange colour, and I've written a few blogs on this. Quite interesting species. Next, please. Okay, title coming up. Next. So I want to go through the characteristics that I think the best nature salon images have in common. I'll just go through some images and we will talk about after. Next. I just want you to look at these images and see if you can see any commonalities. Next, please. Next, this is loons in Canada. These are 2 of the beetle species that nest in the same place, and they have the occasional fight. Kingfishers also nest there. Next. Next. Okay, 2 more. Oh, but pixelated that one. Next one, please. Yeah, some of these haven't transferred very well. Lots of things. If the background is distracting, because if you've noticed that most of these have had a very plain background, just move in closer to the subject. Next. It's actually got better. Again, move in close to the specific action. There's been a lot of grass around, so you can concentrate on the subject if you move in. Next, please. So what characteristics do these images have in common? I'll run down them. Next, there's a list that will come up, so you'll need a click here. They must have instant impact. They must be well composed. They must have a clear central subject, and they must be sharp all over. And that includes the perch. Must have an unobtrusive background, and above all, they must have action. And a bit of color does no harm because that adds impact to the slides. So we will look at some of these things we brought up here. Next, please. Color adds impact. If you can get action plus color, it is so much better. and there's a lot of colourful creatures. Unfortunately, black birds or grey birds don't work well. Next, please. So a portrait of a lion, it's nice, but there's no action. Next. Portrait of jackal cubs, again, nice. It's like a school picture, no action. Next. Yeah, a nice bird, a silver-haired mesia, nice. Again, everything's it'd be a good textbook thing, but there's no action, so it's not doesn't stand out. This species of bird is very colourful. Again, an Australian species. No action. Next, please. Again, this is a broad bill. It's one of the, I think India has quite a lot of commonality with the species we see in Malaysia. This nice broad bill, no action. It is building a nest, but it's it doesn't specify action, so doesn't get it. But there are exceptions to the rule also. Here we have action, which is chaotic action, but that's actually part of the deal. These crossings are chaotic, so it actually gets the message across. Remember, one of the things I said, it has to be instant. Next, please. I have judged a number of international competitions where you have a maximum of 10 seconds to actually mark the thing. So it must impact in that 10 seconds to the judges. Next, please. Some images are good, but they're too specialist. And here's we've gone back. Good, yeah. There's a white writing coming up here. So just another click here. Now, what's happening here is this is a fledgling, the little guy down the bottom, and that's Dad up the top. Dad is totally annoyed with being followed everywhere by this chick, and he's telling it off. But in a competition, this doesn't show because you don't know what's going on. So some of these things that require more explanation don't actually come across that well in salons. Next, please. Now, one of the things I really like doing is working with these bowerbirds. They're Australian and New Guinea species. And if you showed this in a salon competition, it probably wouldn't go very far. But it's fascinating. The male builds this bower. It's not a nest. It's basically a sort of a love tunnel, if you like. And he sticks all these little twigs into the ground, and there's hundreds of them. And then he paves it with stones. In this case, this guy specializes in white or grey stones. And he has toys at the end that he wants to attract the female with. He's about to throw that little stick in the air to try and impress her, and he's used that green fruit to also do the same thing. And the final piece de resistance is basically showing feathers on the back of his head. They're in a little pouch, and he suddenly unleashes these and shows them to the female. You cannot display this or get this message across in 10 seconds. So this is something better for another competition. Next, please. This is what I was telling you about these orange babies. Here is a good example. This baby's probably less than a week old, and it attracts the females. All come in and admire it because it stands out like a sore toe. And they will actually, hormones will be induced in the other females, such that if there's twins and one of them needs looking after, they can instantly look after this. Again, you can't get this message across. You can show this sort of rather loving image, but you don't quite know what's going on. So it's something that needs more explanation than you get in quick salon presentations. Next, please. So there is a place for these special exhibits. The Natural History Museum. It used to be the BBC Wildlife, where you can submit pictures to them, but the pictures must have explanations with them. And this is a competition run once a year. Some of the best photographers in the world go into this. Next, please. That's what I said. It runs every year. This is an example. This is not mine, I have to admit, but this is the sort of stuff that wins prizes there. This guy put his camera up, I don't know if he was behind it still, up into this tree in Borneo to get this picture of the habitat and the movement of this orangutan. I think it's a fantastic shot. You know, I would love this in my collection. This is the sort of stuff where you need a bit more explanation and is ideal for this competition. This would probably do okay in salon stuff because it does have instant impact, but it's more for this yearly nature competition. Next, please. So I don't know how long I've taken here, but I'd like to thank WPI for inviting me to give this talk and to try and get across the message of what you need to get sort of top images in this field. Above all, it's action, but they must have other aspects to them as well. Okay, thank you. That's the.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gramgai sir. We have come to know about how the nature photography can be perfect and scientifically correct from him. This was really an insightful presentation. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all the speakers and the audience. We are very happy to get all of you today in this day, on this day of World Photography Day. So our presentation session is over. Now we are going to begin live interaction with the audience. If you have anything to know from the presentations of our renowned speakers, please feel free to ask them. All of them are here and they will answer your queries. Thank you.
I must say that Himalayan wildlife was just spectacular and must have been really difficult to get there. My congratulations.
Thank you so much, Rami.
I loved Himalayan photographs. And also, Mr. Guy's presentation was quite helpful.
Thank you so much. Really enjoyed the presentation also, other presenters. Thank you.
Any questions, please?
In the macro photography, what camera do you use?
I was using earlier Canon 6D. Now I just shifted over to R6. Very recently, hardly a week back.
Some cameras like the Olympus, some cameras like the itself, right? They can do the 90s. They can do the 90s.
Sorry, I am not able to hear you.
The Olympus cameras themselves, and often up to about 90. There's a bit of feedback.
This is a lot of echo actually.
दिनेश सर आपको ईमेल शेयर कर देंगे तो कैसे आप डायरेक्ट बात कर पाएंगे
Your montages are very good, and you are right for a very long time back. And now you are doing color. Are you fond of montages?
Pardon?
Are you very fond of montages?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah.
You are doing macro work also. I have being seen in social media. Very fine work you are doing. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your liking. I have seen your comments also there in the social media. It is just encouraging, very much encouraging to me.
Thank you.
People like you who likes my photos. Is a happy moment for me also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Normally, how much time you take to make a montage?
Especially almost 30 hours in terms of hour. 30 hours I will take. In terms of days, about 15 days I will take to finish a montage work. In 3 hours, I will do the montage work.
Area is very fantastic area.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Graham was asking some question earlier. I couldn't hear that. Type it or repeat.
Graham guys, sir, I request you to write the questions here.
Dinesh, I have a question.
I have seen the question. Mirror cameras is helping me much better.
Okay.
It's giving much better results
Okay.
than DSLR that they were having earlier. It has lot many other features like focus bracketing. So that is very helpful.
पद्माकर गड़े साहब, आपका कुछ हैंड रेज हुआ था, कुछ क्वेश्चन हैं आपके किसी से हो सकते हैं? गड़े साहब, पद्माकर गड़े साहब अभी पूना में है.
So we will end our session soon. I think the interaction is over. Thank you all of you very much. I will request Chitrangat sir to tell something at the end of our program. Happy World Photography Day once again.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. Same to you. Same to everybody.
All of you. Same to all of you.
Happy World Photography Day, everyone.
And thanks WPI.
WPI सर सभी को जोड़ना चाहता है, चाहे फोटोग्राफी किसी भी माध्यम से जुड़े, विधा किसी भी तरीके से करती है, कोई भी सेक्शन हो सकता है, हम कुछ भी हो सकते हैं. जब तक हम 1 से 11 नहीं बनेंगे, तब तक हम काम नहीं कर पाएंगे. अकेला कोई भी आदमी नहीं कर सकता है. और विक्रमजीत सिंह वर्ल्ड लाइफ पे भी काम करते हैं और ये काउंसिल काम भी करते हैं. और आप दिनेश जी माइक्रो काम कर रहे हैं और कृष्णमूर्ति साहब भी वाइल्ड लाइफ पे अच्छा कर रहे हैं और ट्रैवल भी बहुत अच्छा है इनका. सालों साल से सप्रू साहब का काम, चाहे वाइल्ड लाइफ देखिए, जर्नलिज्म है, न्यूज है, बहुत अच्छा सीखने को चीज़ों को मिल रही है. और सालों साल से मैं अराउंड 38 ईयर हो गए हैं मेरे को इस कॉमर्शियल फोटोग्राफी में जुड़े हुए. तो हर एक से हर दिन कुछ नया सीखने को मिल रहा है. और चाहूंगा कि इसी तरीके से अगर मिलते रहेंगे, चाहे सागर साहब अगर वाइल्ड लाइफ के बारे में और हिमालय बताना चाहेंगे तो सभी के लिए ओपन सेशन है, कभी भी मेल कर सकते हैं या कॉल कर सकते हैं. WPI के लिए ईमेल आईडी आप लोगों के पास में है.
Sure, sir.
Definitely.
तो सभी के लिए सभी फोटोग्राफ के लिए शुभकामनाएं. सेफ रहें, सुरक्षित रहें.
One more thing I like to add. Wildlife Photography Association of India is also publishing one newsletter. So I request all the photographers to contribute in that newsletter. This is to bring new ideas in the trends of photography. We have already published 2 issues of our newsletter. And I request all of you to contribute. You will get the information on the website of WPI. Thank you.
Okay.